Hello and welcome to the update. I'm Heidi Tiltons. More than 1 million Gaza residents have been given 24 hours to evacuate to the south as Israel prepares for an imminent ground offensive. The Israeli military has amassed tanks near the Gaza border, launching a fresh round of pre-dawn airstrikes in retaliation for the weekend's attacks in Israel. The UN has urged Israel to call off its evacuation order on humanitarian grounds. It's as the first of 4 repatriation flights prepares to leave Tel Aviv airport, carrying more than 200 Australians trying to flee the war-torn region. Foreign Minister Penny Wong urging any Australians trying to get out of Israel or Gaza to register urgently if they want a seat on one of the emergency flights.
We are engaging with Egypt, as is the US, about seeking to establish humanitarian corridors, but obviously the situation on the ground is extremely difficult.
The Prime Minister is making his final push to convince undecided voters on the eve of the Voice referendum. A record 5 million early ballots have already been cast. Anthony Albanese says the advisory body will provide the government with the opportunity to listen and close the gap.
And we know there's an 8-year life expectancy gap. There's a greater chance of an Indigenous young male going to jail than going to university. Twice the suicide rate. Twice the chance of a young woman who's Indigenous dying in childbirth.
Voice opponents say they've been subject to personal attacks for advocating a no vote in tomorrow's referendum. Prominent no campaigner Warren Mundine was booed as he attended a Sydney polling centre today to cast his vote. The decision to cancel the Commonwealth Games is so far estimated to have cost Victorian taxpayers $555 million. The government has already agreed to pay $380 million in compensation to Games bodies, but Treasury officials have told a parliamentary inquiry the total cost of scrapping the event is expected to climb further. And Aussie scientists have identified 11 genes which contribute to the hardening of the arteries. Researchers at the Victor Chang Cardiac Research Institute say their finding could pave the way for new treatments to prevent heart attacks. Sport and entertainment are next. Former Australian cricket captain Michael Clarke has teed off at selectors for dropping Alex Carey after a disastrous World Cup thumping to South Africa. Champion trainer Chris Waller is confident of winning a 3rd crown in tomorrow's running of the Everest with 2 runners in the field. And Brisbane Bullets star Aaron Baines has been banned for 5 NBL games for his conduct in their loss to Cairns. In entertainment news, Harry Styles is apparently head over heels for girlfriend Taylor Russell since they started dating over the summer. Friends of the 29-year-old singer say he spends as much time with her as possible and sees a future with the Canadian actress. Tina Arena has been forced to postpone the rest of her Australian tour after falling ill. The 55-year-old pop diva has already played concerts in Sydney and Perth, but has apologised to fans on her social media, teasing she'll be back on stage soon for the Gold Coast, Melbourne and Adelaide crowds. And pop star Vanessa Amorosi has again broken down in tears while giving evidence in court where she's suing her mother. The 42-year-old pop star is seeking restitution for touring income and royalties. And that's the latest from the Nova Podcast News team, but we'll see you tomorrow morning for another episode of The Update.